Hello everyone, I am Sir Eugene Camasis from San Jose National High School, and you are in the subject Earth and Life Science. And today we have an interesting topic, which is about magmatism. And before anything else, let us first have an opening prayer to be led by an audiovisual presentation. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Father, we offer everything and thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessing and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love. And open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And now here are the do's and don'ts during online classes. Please take note. In the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, online learning has taken center stage. It is seen as the best alternative road. Let us see what we should do and what we shouldn't do during online learning. The do's in online class. Always remember to mute your speaker when you're not speaking. Use proper names when entering the class. Create a dedicated space for studying. Enter discussions on time. Use language that is appropriate for academic environment. Avoid writing in an informal way. The don'ts in online class. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't get distracted by other online resources or websites. Don't cause a lot of off-topic discussion or one-line replies such as, I agree. Don't join class unprepared. Don't interrupt when someone is asking for permission. Thank you, and we'll follow the do's and don'ts in online class. Okay, so let me share with you today's objectives so that we are guided with what will happen in this lesson. Okay, in today's video lesson, of course, you're expected to describe the characteristics of magma. Number 2, identify the substances or elements present in magma. And lastly, you should be able to explain the processes involved in the formation of magma. But before anything else, let us first have a pretest. This will help me know whether you have understanding, and also for you to assess whether you have already prior understanding on the topic magmatism. The mechanics for this pretest is simple. You don't have to give me the answers. You have to keep it first for yourself. And then later on, after the discussion proper, you will be the same questions will be provided as your evaluation. But that time, it already have an answer key. So for this time, you have to save it first for yourself. And then later on, let us discover what is actually the correct answer for each item. Are you ready? Question number 1. What term should be used to describe a semi-liquid hot molten rock located beneath the earth? Choices are lava, magma, rocks, or sand. Next, what do you call the semi-liquid hot molten rocks found on the surface of Earth once the volcano erupts? The same set of choices. We have lava, magma, rocks, or sand. You can write down your answers on your notebooks, or you can use your smartphones using your notepads so that you can list down the answers for each item. Number 3, what process occurs if there are formation and movement of magma under the Earth's crust? The first option is decompression melting. Is it heat transfer? Is it partial melting? Or is it flux melting? The fourth one, in what part of the Earth does magmatism happen? We have choices: asthenosphere, Earth's core, Earth's crust, or lithosphere. Choose the correct answer. Okay, so what are the two most abundant elements in magma? We have choices such as oxygen and iron. We have silicon and aluminum. We have oxygen and magnesium. And lastly, we have silicon and oxygen. Okay, so you have to save first your answers for such questions, and later on we will find that out as we dive in deeper in our discussion. So let us first have another activity, and this is called Guess the Picture. I have prepared 4 sets of pictures that is covered with blocks. So each time that I will be presenting one picture, you'll have to guess what picture is it. And you can do that when I am removing the blocks from the pictures. Okay, so are you ready? The first picture. Let us first remove the red parts. Oh, we can see a violet sky, and we can see a rice field. Do you have any clue? Okay, so let us remove now the orange part. Again, we can see a clear bluish and violetish, purplish sky. And we can also see some vegetation there. We have trees. Let us remove the violet part. Oh, maybe you're guessing it already. So this is actually Mayan volcano of Albay. Next picture. Okay. Let us start with the red again. Okay. You can see it seems to be like mountains, and there's water. Oh, it seems like it is a mountain. Do you have any guess as of now? Okay, so this is actually Taal volcano in Batangas. Okay, next one. Let's start with orange. Oh, we can see clouds and it seems to be emitting gases. It seems to be a mountain. We have clouds too, clouds again, and a mixture of gases. Okay, so do you have an idea what mountain is this? So this is actually Bulusan volcano, or is also called Mount Bulusan, found in Sorsogon. Lastly, okay, so let's remove the barriers, remove the blocks. We have the red, removing the orange, so that's really a beautiful scenery. But so far, okay, okay. So I guess some of you are familiar with this one, and some of you are not. So this is actually the Mount Pinatubo in northern Luzon. Let me fix my camera first. Okay. So all of those pictures that I presented and showed you were actually active volcanoes. These four are some of the most active volcanoes here in the Philippines. And the most recent eruption that we had is the Taal volcano, which happened in early months of 2020, before the pandemic happened. Okay, so let's move on to another activity, and this one is called picture analysis. In this time, we're going to follow three numbers here. The first one is we should observe and describe the picture. Okay, so what we can see in the picture, we can see it is Mount Mayon and it is erupting a reddish, luminous matter outside its crater, and it seems also to be emitting gas from its crater. So that is your initial observation. You can also make your own observation through this. Okay, what else we can observe? It has a blue sky, so it seems that it is going to be dark, or it is early in the morning. Okay, so what is the material being extruded by Mount Mayon? Do you have any idea what that red luminous thing coming out of the crater of Mount Mayon? So where do you think did that material came from? So you have to uh, take into consideration these questions. And I know you have something in mind, sir. That can be lava, that can be magma, but how do we know? So trivia time. Mount Mayon is one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines. So it erupted for 8 minutes last January 23, 2018, spewing a 3-mile tall column of debris and volcanic gas. It exploded at least 5 more times for the following 2 days. So I remember when I was doing my practical practice teaching in the first district of Albay, specifically in Malinao National High School, I witnessed it personally, and I saw the ashes exploding from the crater of Mount Mayon, and that is devastating, but at the same time it looks oddly beautiful. I don't know. So let us go back to the analysis that we had. So there was a question posed: what is the material being extruded by Mount Mayon? Some of you will say that's magma, that's lahar, that's lava. So what is the truth? Okay. So what is magma? Magma is composed of semi-liquid hot molten rocks located beneath the earth, specifically in the melted mantle rock and oceanic plate. This molten state, when solidified, creates igneous rocks, found on the surface of the earth. So in the past lessons, before we had this topic on magmatism, you were already taught about the different types of rocks and minerals, and one of which is igneous rocks, which is formed when this molten magma, when the magma is solidified. So it forms into an igneous rock, which is found on the surface of the earth. So what is the difference between magma and lava? Magma and lava are both molten rocks. However, they differ in location. Magma is found in the magma chamber of the volcano, while lava is found on the surface of the earth once the volcano erupts. So to put that simply, we are looking at the location. So once it is still underneath the earth and never touches the outside, it is still called as magma. But when it reaches outside the crater of a certain volcano, that becomes lava. So what is magmatism? Magmatism is a process under the Earth's crust where formation and movement of magma occur. So where does this magmatism take place? These happen in the lower part of the Earth's crust and in the upper portion of the mantle, which is known as the asthenosphere. So if you can see, I have provided a visual here where you can see the visualization where asthenosphere is located. So we can see the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, the lithosphere, and then the exact location where asthenosphere is located. So it is said to be in the upper portion of the mantle. Okay, so let us take a look at the composition of magma. We have here the breakdown of the breakdown or the distribution of the composition of magma. And we have guide questions here for us to be able to understand the pie chart. So, guide questions. Which of the following elements has the highest amount in magma? Based from the chart that we can see, we could say that the one that has the highest amount in or the highest percentage in the composition of magma is actually oxygen. So, number 2. Which of the following elements has the lowest amount in the magma? If you will take a look closely, what do you think are the smallest portion? So the smallest portion is actually magnesium, but you can also consider the one that is called others. But to be respectful of the term elements, we are going to pick magnesium. So because it only has 2.1%. Okay, so number 3. What are the top 2 compositions of magma? So you can see here that the 2 elements that has the most part of the composition of magma is actually silicon, which is at 27.7%, and oxygen, which is at 46.6%. Okay, so let us move on now to the another question that we have to address. How is magma formed? How are these molten rocks being molten underneath the earth? So the magma that is present in the lower crust and upper mantle of the earth is formed or generated through the process called partial melting. So what happens during a partial melting? In partial melting, in this process, different minerals on rock melt at different temperature and pressure. Another factor being considered in this process is the addition of volatile materials such as water and carbon dioxide. So, in this illustration, we can see how magma is formed. So we can see in the first picture that there are solid rocks containing the minerals or quartz, feldspar, biotite, and hornblende. The first Minerals. On the second picture, let's take a look at the second picture. The first minerals that melt are quartz and some types of feldspar. The background represents magma. We can see that some minerals already melted, and specifically some type of quartz and feldspar. The background part is representing the magma. And now, minerals such as biotite on the third picture. Minerals such as biotite and hornblende generally melt last, which changes the composition of magma. Okay, so in melting the mantle, there has to be one event that has to occur, and it is one of these three presented right now. The first one is an increase in temperature. The second one is a decrease in pressure. And the third one is the addition of volatiles. Okay. So you can notice in the images that all of this are actually happening underneath the earth, which requires an increase in temperature, requires a decrease in pressure, and also addition of volatiles in here. Okay. Let us now proceed to the post-test. So I have told you earlier that the same item on the pre-test will be posted for the post-test, but this time I will be providing the answers. Number 1. What term should be used to describe a semi-liquid hot molten rock located beneath the earth? We have options like lava, magma, rocks, or sand. So the correct answer here is magma. Did you get it correctly? Congratulations. The next one. What do you call the semi-liquid hot molten rocks found on the surface of the earth once the volcano erupts? We have lava, we have magma, we have rocks, and we have also sand. But which is the correct answer? Take note of the word surface. So the correct answer is lava. Okay, so number 3. What process occurs if there are formation and movement of magma under the Earth's crust? We have choices such as decompression melting, partial melting, heat transfer, or flux melting. And the correct answer here is partial melting. Number 4. In what part of the Earth does magmatism happen? We have asthenosphere, Earth's crust, Earth's core, or lithosphere. The correct answer here is asthenosphere. And lastly, what are the two most abundant elements in magma? So I have shown you earlier the breakdown of the compositions of these magma, and that includes a lot of elements. However, we are only considering the two most abundant elements. We have choices here such as oxygen and iron, silicon and aluminum, oxygen and magnesium, and silicon and oxygen. So the correct answer is silicon and oxygen. Okay, so that ends my presentation. That ends my lesson for today. And for your assignment, review on Earth and Life Science Quarter 1 Module 8, Changes in Mineral Components and Textures of Rocks, which is also called Metamorphism. So it is necessary that you have complete understanding of what magmatism is and how is magma formed in order for you to completely understand our next topic, which is about metamorphism, which is changes in mineral components and textures of rocks. So I hope you learned a lot today in this video lesson. Again, I am Sir Eugene Escamasis of San Jose National High School. I am a teacher 1 teaching science. And should you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact me through the following. I have here my DepEd email, which is flashed in the screen. I have also here my Bicol University email, both of which are active. And also, if you can't reach me out through email, you can also email me through Facebook. I mean, you can chat me through Facebook, and here is my Facebook account. It's www.facebook.com/eugene.camasis. Okay, so again, congratulations and thank you for listening. And always remember that you are magnanimous. Bye, everyone.